bruh, bruh, bruh.
All right, everybody, it is time for the final Steam Autumn Sale video, this time with games under $1. How much gaming can you get for under $1? Well, you'd be surprised. This is one of my favorite categories because there's a lot of game for under $1. Like this, 12 is better than 6. This is a hand-drawn styled top-down shooter. Think Hotline Miami in the Old West, only this one has more stealth elements. You got to be careful about how you make your way through the level. Cover is important, and yeah, you start out as basically a slave working in the mines, and then you make your way out and just start murdering your way through the Old West. It's a whole lot of fun. It really is, and the game really does look like this. The fun part, and we'll see gameplay, because that's what the... Are you serious? You're not going to show gameplay? Cool. I'll show it. Okay, so it looks like this. This would be you. With top-down wise, you're just a hat with a gun poking out. And when you shoot people, that's when, yeah, you don't want to be fully seen, because that means you've been shot, you've been laid out like these guys. Anyway, very violent game, very fun. Like I say, Hotline Miami in the Old West. It is 90% off at 99 cents, and what better way to start off than with a game that Obey the Fist is like, nope. He and I don't agree on everything, but what we do agree on is that asset flips are bad. That's why he is my friend. That's why I reached out to him. Oh, Barro GT is the best of all the Barro games. I did the research on this. It is true. This has the most tracks, the best tracks, the most cars, the best gameplay features, all of the things. So if you've never played a Barro game, this is, if you only have one of them, this is the one to get. I did the research on it, I could tell you that for sure. And it's a fun racing game. All of the Barro games are fun racing games, just this one is the most fun. And like all Barro games, when it goes on sale, it's 90% off at 49 cents. And yep, there we go. Yeah, one of you was laughing at the fact that, yeah, Obey the Fist recommends against all of my recommendations. In this category, he absolutely will. Yeah, this is Boneless Zombie, and Boneless Zombie, you're just a regular dude who gets basically kidnapped into mad scientist realm, and he takes all your bones, and you're trying to make it back to your, like, surprisingly hot girlfriend for a guy with no bones, I mean, who is also a zombie. Anyway, but yeah, this is basically a physics-based platformer, and it's pretty chaotic and random. You know, it's one of those difficult physics games where, you know, fighting the physics is the game. But there are a ton of games like this. You know, you got your Octodads, you got your all those bajillion, like, I wish I could remember that one. There's one that's on my brain that I can't remember that was super popular for a while. A physics game where the, you know, Fall Flat is another one, fairly popular. Yeah, broken physics games are an entire genre unto themselves, and a lot of people like them. I happen to like this one quite a bit. And yup, there we go. 80% off at 99 cents. Braveland. Now, all the Braveland games are on sale. I didn't go through and recommend, like, okay, here's Braveland. Wizard, I think, is under $2. Pirate is under $5, or vice versa. Anyway, if you like the Braveland theme, there are other Braveland games that are also on sale, and depending on how recently they came out, that'll determine the amount of discount that you're getting. But it's this, you know, very simple and straightforward hex-based, turn-based strategy RPG. And so if you've never played a turn-based strategy-style RPG, yeah, I don't know what happened to my accent there. All of a sudden it was nor good. Anyway, but yeah, this is a very fun game. As you make your way through the world, you get to recruit more dudes to your side. You get to build up the dudes that you have. And if you're good at your tactics, the longer you keep guys, the better off they'll be, and the better you will be as you make your way into all of the upcoming battles within the game. Yeah, it very much reminds me story-wise of Dungeon Siege, and yeah, where you start off as simple farmer, and then it just goes epic from there. Braveland, I really like this series. Yeah, see, there's Braveland, there's Braveland Pirate, there's Braveland Wizard. You can get all 3 games for $5.99. This one, 90% off at 99 cents. Spaceland is also a thing which I now own. Haven't played yet, but it's probably good. Knights of Braveland, I'm worried about because this one goes action RPG, and I don't know if I like this same series in an action RPG because it's a strategy RPG. That's what it's made for. Anyway, oh, but yes, it is 99 cents. Yeah, I showed you. Carnal. Carnal is what we now call a boomer shooter. Back in the day, you would have called it a Doom clone. It is a really cool, really fun shooter, boomer-style shooter, that feels very much like it belonged in the era in which Doom came out. And it brings a lot of really cool things to the table. There's really good level design. You know, the enemies have decent AI. There is a decent enough challenge. It's fun. It's a fun game. Goes pretty hard. And it's, you know, 51% off, 49 cents, 99 cents normally. They do not charge very much for this game, and it's super fun. So, yeah, highly recommend the Carnal. Caveblazers, I have mentioned before, because in the which game gets to be the #1, you know, dungeon crawly type of roguelike. Well, Spelunky is the winner in that category, but this game, in my book, is right up there. I really enjoy this game a whole bunch, and it is, yes, it is roguelike, and so if you enjoy yourself a good roguelike dungeon crawler, well, this one is excellent. If you're like, oh, I don't want to, you know, pay for Spelunky and Spelunky 2 prices, yeah, you can get a lot of the same experience, a lot of the fun. You know, this also has a really fun sense of humor, and it's a good game. It really is. It's just that Spelunky won the top spot in this genre, but let's not forget there are other games in this genre that are decent entries, and this one is a lot more than decent. It's 92% off at 79 cents. And yeah, look who recommends against it, but then look at how many of my friends own it, and they all enjoy it. So what does that tell you? I don't know. You have to decide who to trust, I guess. Cthulhu Saves the World. This is a Zeboid entertainment game, and when you buy this, you don't just get the Cthulhu Saves the World, which is fun because he gets cursed to where he has to use his powers to save the world rather than destroy it. And so the entire game, he's just kind of like, ugh, I hate all you people. I wish I was killing this planet, but instead I have to save it. This is so dumb. And there is a really, really fun sense of like throwback to classic RPGing, especially like your Dragon Warrior and your Final Fantasy type games. This one has a lot of that in it, and it's both a loving send-up, you know, kind of spoofy, but also a love letter to those classic games. And with this, you also get Breath of Death 7, which is another very similar old school styled RPG. This one very much in the Dragon Warrior vein. But you get both of these games, Breath of Death 7, which there is no Breath of Death 1 through 6. This is just them messing with you and also messing with the idea of these old school RPGs where they were just cranking them out back in the day. But you get 2 games for the price of 1, and the price of 1 is 80% off at 59 cents. And look who says no to that. Doesn't surprise me, but I do disagree with him wholeheartedly on that. He doesn't like pixel games in a lot of ways. Defunct, this is a really cool racing game. It's got kind of a Wall-E vibe in certain ways, but it's mostly a racing game, and so it really looks pretty. It's a pretty game. I enjoy the world of this game, the way it looks, the way it feels, and very much like Sonic the Hedgehog, where you can't stop too long to take a look around because you need to be zooming your way through this world. It is, yeah, the premise is you're a robot who is on this spaceship and you're kind of trying to zoom your way back. The cool thing about this game is that it works on a gravity system where, like, when you hold down the button, it locks you in gravity-wise, and that's how you build up speed, is by, you know, hitting the valleys and, like, coasting through the valleys and then letting go so that you can jump over the hills. And It takes a second to get the hang of how to pick up nice speed in the game, but pretty soon you're going to be doing tricks and jumping off of walls and stuff. It's really cool. 90% off at 99 cents. Yeah. Oh, owns it, but hasn't said whether or not he dislikes it. Interesting. Deus Ex is one of the greatest games ever made, and they have no footage of it. They have really tiny pictures, but you are this augmented human, and you are kind of a cop. But then as the game unfolds, you got to make choices, and you got to, decide which factions you're going to align with and which factions you're going to align against. And your choices ultimately determine the fate of the entire world. And so it's a really, really cool game. It is almost 25 years old. It is long in the tooth, but you know what? Some things just hold up. And this game is one of the greatest games ever made. It is 86% off at 97 cents. And look who recommends it. Yeah, Obey the Fist also recommended by this friend of mine, who I won't tell you who it is. I may or may not be related to them, but that's their own private business. Anyway, Devious Dungeon. This is an action roguelike. There is a Devious Dungeon 2, so if you like this one, there is another one that's like this, but even deeper and more stuff going on. But this is just a classic hack and slash action platformy roguelike, where you're making your way through this world and just looting all of the things, building up your character, and getting better and better with each playthrough. And so, yeah, it's a fun time. I know there's a bajillion roguelikes out there, but this one has good feel. I just like the way it feels to play. Tight controls, really, really fun. It is 80% off at 99 cents. Oh, too bad. We were on a hot streak of agreeing with each other for a second. Diggerman. Diggerman may have been a mobile game at one point. And, my thing about mobile games is I don't care if they get ported to Steam so long as they are good. And this one is basically Boulder Dash, but with a bunch of cool new gameplay features. There's TNT to watch out for. You got to keep your headlight battery charged up by collecting more and more batteries. And then as you make your way down, you're going to try and not get yourself killed, which is increasingly hard as you go along. And if you enjoy Boulder Dash type games, this one is very, very fun. It does some cool things with that classic gameplay. 83% off at 84 cents. And womp womp there. Oh well, we'll be okay. Downwell. Downwell is simple concept, easy to learn, difficult to master. Basically, you're jumping down a well, and you got guns on the bottoms of your shoes, and you're just seeing how far down the well you can go. And occasionally there are stores that you can stop off in and buy stuff and power yourself up and prepare yourself for the journey onward. It is a really cool concept that is well executed and very fun to play. It's a good pick 'em up, put 'em down type of game. And I love those type of games where you don't have to get too invested. You can just enjoy it for what it is. Anyway, 75% off at 74 cents. And I have a ton of friends who own it, only one of whom recommends against it. Dropsol. Dropsol is a very simple and straightforward, classic arcade-style game. Basically, when you have your umbrella open, it slows your fall, but you can only have your umbrella open for a certain amount of time as you're trying to make your way through the level without getting yourself killed, which is easier said than done. It's simple gameplay executed very well, and it's got this classic CGA graphics look. I just like that kind of thing. I'm a sucker for that kind of nostalgia, and so 51% off at 49 cents. I just like that. If you also enjoy simple arcade-style gameplay, it's a really good one. GrabLab is a woefully underrated, this is a puzzler that is all done with this grappling arm. Because basically, yeah, everybody is employed in the lab that developed this thing, and then you're just making your way through crazy levels and figuring out how to get all of the things. And the puzzling gets pretty darn intense, and there are a ton of character unlockables. It's very fun like that. I really had a lot of fun with this game, and I don't normally like a lot of puzzlers. Look, almost nobody has played this. Almost nobody cares about it, but it's really, really fun. 83% off at 84 cents is the GrabLab. Horde of Plenty. Horde of Plenty is an arena shooter and, you know, kind of isometric style arena shooter. I really love this early level with the flippable walls because that's just a fun mechanic for isolating enemies and, you know, taking a relentless arena shooter and turning it into something that you can manage if you're smart as you play your way through it. And that's generally speaking how this game goes. It is an arena type shooter, a twin sticky type shooter, but also it's just really well designed, and that's good. I like really well designed twin stick shooters. It just makes for a lot of fun gameplay. And this one is 86% off at 69 cents. Ooh, owns it, but has not recommended against it. That's not nothing. Hypergalactic Psychic Table Tennis 3000 takes the simple concept of Pong and blows it up, as the thing is kind of showing you. Yeah. It's saying, what if instead of regular Pong, we had Crazy Pong? Which does get wilder and crazier, and there are a lot of, you know, gameplay elements to this, a lot of, you know, power-ups and levels and things. And yeah, it's just the same basic Pong that you know and love, but also much more than that and much more interesting. It's 50% off at 99 cents. For sure, a good one. Iron Fisticle. I've already recommended Iron Cryptical in another one of these. Iron Fisticle is basically if Robotron met Gauntlet. That's pretty much the vibe, and it's very fun like that. It's just endless onslaughts of enemies, lots of power-ups and things, and as you go through level after level after level, you get to choose kind of how you make your way through each floor of this dungeon, because every floor has a different layout and has bosses and things, mini bosses, different things that you can do, and the idea is that you build yourself up so that you can face down the mini boss. This one only has 2-player cooperative gameplay. The Iron Cryptical, which I've already featured, has 4-player, and so yeah, this is the original flavor. The other one, you know, adds a lot more to it, but I still like this one just as much. It is 89% off at 98 cents. And yeah, a ton of my friends own it because it's super fun. Locosoccer, this is the classic variety. This game is a silly goose. This is basically soccer, but with broken physics characters and really stupid, simple graphics. Well, it's basically foosball, but like stupid and fun. Just chaotic, stupid, fun foosball, basically. And yeah, your players basically just rotate. They flip on their heads and stuff. It's really, really silly and very, very fun. And you can play this multiplayer with, I believe, up to 4 players. There's a Locosoccer 2, which you can play with even more, and they're both really fun. But this is the original flavor. It's a silly, silly game, and it is 51% off at 49 cents. And yeah, he doesn't recommend it, but I do. I do. Mini Ghost. I've already recommended Ghost, which is a really cool Metroidvania. Mini Ghost is based in that same world, but it has NES-style graphics. And so, you know, how Ghost 1.0 is a Metroidvania that has a Super Metroid feel, this one has an original Metroid feel. But the other really cool thing about this is that this game has a level designer. And really, you can build your own game, pretty much, within the game builder for this, the level designer and things. You can really go full ham on that and really decide what you're going to do with it. And that is part of what makes it super cool. It's 50% off at 99 cents. And somebody says boo, but I don't. Montaro RE. I'm going to stop recommending both Montaro games at the same time. They are both very similar. You play as this corgi, you go through, you collect coins, you steal the pantsu off of the Japanese schoolgirls by jumping as you walk past them. At a certain point, it'll show you. You literally are going to steal the underoos off of these Japanese schoolgirls. And this game, watch, he'll do it. Boom. Took them. Anyway, this game has one of the best soundtracks, and it's a very casual auto runner. It's super, super casual. There are plenty of unlockables and things. It's 20% off at 79 cents. and I really like it. Members of my family have really enjoyed it as well. It's a fun game. Mutant Mudds Deluxe. This is a very classic feeling platform shooter in which you play as this little kid. And the cool thing is there's this jumping between foreground and background, which allows for some pretty complex puzzle solving and things. And the secret levels within this game are all like love letters to specific classic games. And so there's a lot of like really cool gameplay in these games, and there's a lot of it that comes as a sort of loving tribute to some of the great platformers that have come before. This game is most fun to play on the 3DS, but if you don't have a 3DS, they've gotten stupid expensive. So yeah, get it on Steam while it's cheap, and you can have a 99% experience without the, you know, the 3D, which gives some people headaches, that you get on the 3DS. This is 90% off at 99 cents. Notebook Artillery is a game that I went searching for. I was like, man, I want to have a game like, you know, the classic QBasic monkeys or gorillas with bananas. And this one is exactly what it says it is. It is, you know, notebook paper, and you can play as 2 players. You find your angle, you look at the windage, angle and power, and then make your shot, and then make your adjustments as you can to try and take out your opponent before they take you out. And so again, classic gameplay style, but really well done. It is 80% off at 99 cents. All right, we are getting there. Let's see what's next. Out there somewhere is kind of like a 2D portal, except instead of a portal gun, it's a teleportation gun. And there are different surfaces that, you know, allow different types of teleportation. And there's a whole conservation of matter type or conservation of energy type of thing that goes along with it, that you have to get a sense for how energy is conserved as you're moving through. And then these different colored barriers, you know, some of them don't allow you to shoot your gun past it. Some of them allow you to teleport to that point and no further. And yeah, eventually you're going to be making these crazy jumps with, you know, making shots in midair. And the level design is really smart, and it really is kind of like a 2D portal. And so 90% off at 99 cents, and womp womp, we don't agree on everything. I think that game is super fun. Over 9,000 Zombies is a game in which it's a top-down shooter in which you face down hordes of zombies. The cool thing about it is that there is online multiplayer, which is not a thing you see a ton of in this price point. But the game is built around, it's not just, you know, top-down Hotline Miami, you also build up fortifications in between levels. And so as you are going around looking for more ammo in between levels, you're also setting up walls and turrets and things so that, you know, there's a little bit of tower defense as well as top-down shooter. And you're just preparing yourself for level after level of a relentless horde of over 9,000 zombies, because that's an accurate description of what the game is. It is 72% off at 55 cents. And we don't all like it, but I sure do. Prison Chainball Massacre is exactly what the game says it is. Basically, you're an escaped prisoner, and you have your chain ball still on your leg, and you use it to swing around and kill all the guards who are coming to get you. And so it's this whole physics-based thing where it's kind of like an arena shooter, except for you're not shooting, you're swinging your prison ball around, which is a very different vibe to how to play this kind of game. And there are multiple different prison chain balls that you can get as unlockables as the game goes along. I really like this game. It's 50% off at 99 cents. I really enjoy it. Project Snaqe. As you can tell, I do like games that take a classic gameplay style and improve upon it in some way. This is Snaqe, as you remember playing it on your Nokia phone back in the day, only it has some different things going for it. You can switch between the shooting nose and a drilling nose on your front car, And as you collect more and more things, because you're mining down in this mine, as you collect more and more things in your mining vehicle, your train gets longer and longer and longer. And you just try to keep it going, survive as long as you can. It's the classic game, but with some really cool quality of life upgrades that just feel really nice. It's really easy to learn, really easy to pick up. And yeah, not enough people love this game. It is 70% off at 59 cents. Reigns. Oh my goodness. I have so much fun with this game. This game is very simple, very straightforward. The king is dead, and now you're the king. And every choice that you can make, you either go one side or the other. You see the impact that it's going to have on religion, the people, the military, and the economy. And you don't know whether it's going to affect it positively or negatively. You can kind of guess based on, you know, what it is, the action that you might be taking. And you just have to keep the kingdom balanced. You can't let the church get too powerful. They'll kill you. Same with the people, same with the military. The economy can't get too bad. You have to try and maintain a good balance, which is easier said than done. And so with a simple decision-making game, they have made something that is really impressive, really fun, that really feels like you're doing something, even though you're just making simple yes or no choices. It's a really, really cool game. Not a lot of things like it, except for the other games in this series, because there's also a Reigns Princess, and Reigns Three Kingdoms, Reigns Beyond, Reigns Game of Thrones. Yeah, they've got a lot of Reigns games, and even though our friend recommends against it, I recommend for it. It is very fun. 67% off at 98 cents. Road Bustle is another classic gameplay style that has been updated. This is essentially Frogger, or Crossy Road, if you will, except for you have a jetpack. And it's not so good a jetpack that you can't still get hit by cars. So you do have to be smart about how you use it, but there are also other vehicles that you can hop in, you know, golf cart and, yeah, little moped, scooter thing, all kinds of stuff that you can do in this game. And it's very, like, Crossy Roadish, only the difference is that, you know, you don't have to watch a commercial after every single level that you play, because mobile gaming really sucks now. And so Road Bustle takes a mobile gaming game that you probably enjoyed and makes it good again without, you know, all of the stupid advertising. Anyway, 92% off at 79 cents is the Road Bustle. Shing. Shing is a really cool game. Obviously, Shing is the sound of a sword being unsheathed, and that is an indication for this game because it is a hack and slashy beat 'em up, which is very, very cool and very fun. And yeah, you know, there are a few different really cool characters that you're going to get to play as, and each of them have their own different strengths, their own different abilities. It makes it very fun and interesting. And yes, there is kind of a silly sense of humor, but the gameplay is tight and well done. And it's very satisfying to swing your sword and kill some baddies. Like, that's just how it should be. I like this kind of beat 'em up, the hack and slashy side-scrolling beat 'em up. And so, yeah, it is 95% off at 99 cents. So it's a good one to have. Shooting Stars. This one is really kind of silly. And if you, like me, are someone who doesn't love celebrity culture, but in fact kind of hates it, well, in this game, you get to shoot lots of celebrities. They don't go by their actual normal names, but it is very easy to figure out who they are. Kanye East, Justin Bieber, yeah, Daft Funk, etc. Like, yeah, it's a whole bunch of celebrities that you get to kill in this crazy shooting game with really wild weapons and power-ups. It is 85% off at 74 cents. And yeah, there we go again. There we go again. Shotgun Legend is basically answering the question, what would Legend of Zelda have been like if you had a shotgun? It's kind of a, you know, one-trick pony of a game, in that it, you know, it's not better than Zelda in any meaningful sense, but it is interesting and it is fun. it's a cool take on, you know, this classic RPG style. And so, yeah, that's really interesting. 51% off at 49 cents. Womp womp. But you know what? Like Legend of Zelda with shotguns and that you can play cooperatively, you can't play regular Legend of Zelda cooperatively, and you sure can't play it with shotguns. So yeah, there's something to that. Oh, I promised the Steamworld Dig, and here it is. This is the original Steamworld game, and this one is basically Boulder Dash, but with a lot of really cool, interesting gameplay features that make it just an excellent, excellent gaming experience. It is an action roguelike dungeon crawlery thing, which, yes, there are a lot of these in the world, but this is one of the very best, widely regarded as one of the very best. And so if you enjoy this type of classic gameplay, the Boulder Dash style, but in a really cool upgraded way, well, Steamworld Dig, it's really cool. 91% off at 89 cents. Ooh, we are getting there. Super Dungeon Boy. Super Dungeon Boy is exactly what it tells you that it is. It's not the deepest game, it's not the most impressive game, but it is a fun game. And so, yes, this is another one of these, you know, go through the dungeon, get the loot, do the thing, action platformer type of game. And is it roguelike-ish? No. Does it feel that way? Yeah, a little bit. It's just the levels are actually designed so you can memorize them, learn them, and get better at them over time. So there's that. But Super Dungeon Boy, really cool game, interesting send-up to earlier gameplay styles, and there are obvious nods to a lot of classic games in there. It's 51% off at 49 cents. Ubermosh, you get 7 games with this? Pretty sure? Or how many? 9 items, I think 8 of which are games. Now, these games are all very similar. They are arena-type shooters, just each has its own different vibe, and they play a lot like Akane, which is a really cool arena shooter. And yeah, so these are basically the budget versions of Akane. And there are, yeah, like I say, 8 different games in there, 1 DLC, and they each bring their own unique vibe. I have only played one of these games. I need to do a rundown of all of them and let you know what the differences are between them. But yeah, the Ubermosh collection, 90% off at 49 cents. A lot of game at that price. And speaking of, last but not least, the Vagrant, the, you know, most hidden of hidden gems, because this is an action hack and slashy RPG with a ton of fan service. So yeah, they spend a lot of time making sure the Ghiblis get jubbled just so. Like I've said before, there are no small-chested women in this game. Everybody is just rack-a-stacked to a ridiculous degree, which is kind of funny and fun to play it that way. So if you like fan service, this is a good fan service game. But beyond that, it is a solid hack and slasher, and I love me a good hack and slasher. And this one just happens to be really good. And, you know, people have been sleeping on it. And so it's been ending up in the bottom of the bargain bin. Here it is at 79 cents, 80% off. And it's a really, really fun game and really cool. Looks great, plays great, and the fan service is what it is. If you like buxom lasses, well, there are some buxom young ladies. So yeah, 79 cents will get you a winner there. Anyway, people, that is it for the Steam Autumn Sale 2024. I've given you the under 10, the under 5, the under 2, and now the under 1. As soon as this one goes up, I'm going to index all of the videos so you can find your games even more easily, and hopefully you find things that you like. I do specialize in trying to help people find games that are a little off the beaten path, and so hopefully there's something out there for you in that category. Anyway, people, thanks for being here for this one. I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye!